talk about like high expectations and setting a bar high, I think that it's important that we talk about what Matt Hardy has planned for Private Party. The man's talking about these guys becoming multimillionaires, and I want to hear what was your take on this overall segment, because I know you find Matt Hardy's evolution really entertaining.
I really do. And he was featured a lot on BTE this last week, and I loved every bit of it, man. When he was ribbing in the Young Bucks and trying to sell them, I don't know if you caught it or not, sell them a new office space, and it was the wrong key, and had a lot of stuff with Private Party. But right away when he cut them off, he goes, "No, I talk first." I was like, yes,
Yeah.
Matt Hardy,
Yeah.
that's so great. And then at the end of the promo, how he's very intense and how, he's the greedy money manager. And that's great. If he just needs to just keep living up to this greedy money manager guy, and it's going to work. I don't know. This promo really hit. He's so smooth when he talks. He's always fun to watch. He's unpredictable and very entertaining to me. I love this promo, and I think it's a perfect fitting with Private Party, who we are very high up on with their skill set, and they do need some, a guy like him who can teach them the charismatic part of wrestling and the personality. Private Party exudes that with their entrances and just their gimmick, and to get more comfortable with all that part of, they seem very comfortable in the ring, but to be comfortable in that part of the promo world and just carrying yourself there with being with Hardy is going to be pay off in dividends. More than 30% of what they're giving him is going to pay off more. And I agree with Hardy.
Yeah, I think that there's no denying that Private Party has a natural charisma to them, right? There's something about these two guys. Their entrance is on point. You can clearly see that they enjoy working together. They have a natural chemistry together. Their offense is always exciting. But I do think that the polish of what it means to be a superstar and carry yourself like one, you're not going to have a better mentor than Matt Hardy. The man has continued to keep himself relevant, continue to be creative and push himself to want to learn more about the business, to give back to the business in more ways. I felt like this segment was potentially going to go off the rails for a little bit. I was worried because there was definitely that bickering back and forth, and it felt like they were almost like confused on what they were going to say at times. It was like they were definitely bickering and arguing and almost throwing each other off. It felt like at times, like
I could see that.
But overall, I think that, Matt Hardy has certainly set the tone where he's going to take these two. I got to ask you, SPD, I've been pondering this. Do you feel like this is obviously Matt Hardy is showing that egomaniac persona more and more, taking credit for, ladder matches and all sorts of stuff, right? Do you see this potentially leading to the Private Party being more heelish, or do you see them rebelling against Matt Hardy and kind of becoming more baby faces? Because I definitely am intrigued by how Matt Hardy, not just in his advice, but in his actions, how that's rubbing off on Private Party. Are they going to acclimate to those traits, or are they going to push away from them? What do you think? How would you book it?
I think it would work both ways for sure. I think I could see Private Party really leaning into this persona of being greedy and, making all this money on Cameo like they said they were doing on BTE. But also at the end, this is a hot team that, with a division that's really not full of babyface tag teams that have that high potential of Private Party or that polish, really. I mean, especially with Young Bucks going into the Bullet Club, now they're returning essentially to heels.
Yeah.
You think, I feel like it's not ready for them to do that, but I think down the line they could. But the way I would book it is, ride this out and then eventually turn on Hardy, and then you have this feud with Private Party and Hardy, plus who knows, maybe he recruited someone else to be, part of the Hardy Party. So that's how I'd book it. But it's entertaining. I love that it's featured every week, and we're going to see him next week.
Yeah. I definitely I'm intrigued. I'll say that. I think that
Yeah.
like either way, it could lead to some very entertaining television. And obviously anything Matt Hardy's involved with, I think is going to be entertaining. I just think that like I've been chewing on that one for a little bit. I
Yeah.
love what they're doing on BTE. And I'm wondering, like, does Private Party kind of finally see Matt Hardy was right and they hit the goal, they hit the jackpot, and they lean into this like cockiness? Because I could certainly see these two being like cocky heels, right? They have that like, but like you just pointed out, there's not a lot of big babyface teams on the tag roster, and that